Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Dennis. So today we're going to talk about Nitro Sapphire. That's the Radeon RX 5700 XT graphics card from AMD. Now I'm a little late getting to this one. Still a very relevant card. It's only been out for, I don't know, 6 months maybe a year. Still high up, great card. Let's get it out of the box and then let's do some testing with it. So a couple things you'll notice is 8 GB GDDR6 memory. It is 4.0 PCIe, all right, which has the PCI Express support, 7 nanometer Fidelity FX, FreeSync 2 HDR, and of course the RDNA architecture. Let's get it out and have a look. It's pretty well packaged. Okay, so what do we have inside? We have the Sapphire manufacturer information. We have the Sapphire graphics card quick installation guide. And it even tells you how to hook everything up. All right, talks about how the RGB is going to work. Okay, how it plugs in, all that kind of good stuff, just in case somebody needs this in the future. Now let's have a look at the card. And there is that wicked beast right there. All right, take it all in. There's our 5 heat coils. Okay, and of course we're going to open this. We'll have a look at what all this is. Obviously 3 fans, and it has 2 8-pin for power. This is one of the nicer cards from the Radeon series. Let's get it out and have a little bit better of a look. Okay, so here's our graphics card out of the box. And of course we've looked at the fact that it needs 2 8-pin PCIe for power. You've got a switch on this side. It has 3 settings. It comes out of the factory setting number 3. And it does suggest use the software for the other 2 settings, but of course you can do it manually. Has 3 fans in the front, all right, and of course the bracket on the inside. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so what we've got is we have 2 display ports and 2 HDMI. So in terms of if you're going to do VR, that's what you're going to be looking for. And one of the things I want to point out, okay, so we'll look at the back first. Be very careful not to touch the wrong things here. But in here, okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, we have, and they don't include it, but this is a friend's of mine. This is not actually mine. I wish it was. Okay, there's a addressable RGB that's you need a cable to go in right here, and it will come out through here, and then you just plug it into an addressable RGB on your motherboard, and you will be good to go. And then you can do all your lighting and everything. All right, so let's have another look here. Okay, the back plate is quite nice, actually. I know I would like to have that the other way, but maybe it makes a difference when it's in the system. All right. It did not come with a little thing to protect the connectors, but nowadays you really don't need that anyway. And it's not too thick, and it's actually not even too long. So just in case you're wondering, the setting it comes on is 3, which is the software switch mode, so you can make all your changes with software in the AMD Adrenalin, with the AMD Adrenalin software. Okay, switch 2, basically you just switch it to the middle and then to the far right for switch number 1. Switch number 1 is the primary setting, 2 is secondary, and 3 is the software mode, which is why they put it on 3, so that you don't have to manually go into your case and try and change everything. So something I like to show every now and then is just how to connect your monitor. Okay, so it shows all the different scenarios, whether you have an analog, LCD, okay, all the different scenarios, so you can pause it and have a look at it. It even shows a projector or an HD TV. So have a look at that, pause it if you need to look at that to figure out how you're going to do it. So some of the things I want to go over is the fact that the product specifications, which of course, like I mentioned, it has the 2 DisplayPort, 2 HDMI. It has the Trixx 3-fan Trixx cooling solution, they call it. It has the metal backplate with, like I mentioned, the addressable RGB LEDs. Digital power design, has a fan check, a free flow, fan quick connect, and Trixx boost. Has intelligent fan control, precision fan control, robust VRM cooling, and memory cooling. Has dual ball bearing fans, a dual BIOS, which is always very nice. VR friendly, RDNA architecture, like I mentioned, and it is a 2nd generation 7 nanometer GPU. Okay, as I mentioned, it's all on here for your power efficiency, GDR6, video streaming up to 8K, everybody. 8K, okay, keep that in mind. Has DisplayPort 1.4, HBR3/DSC, Radeon image sharpening, anti-lag, and FreeSync 2 HDR. Okay, some of the important things to know as well are your minimum system requirements. You're going to need a PCI Express compliant motherboard. So as long as you have a, either you can run it in PCIe 3 if you want. I don't know why you would, but you could. It has a times 16 PCIe slot with minimum of 600 watt or greater power supply. Keep that in mind. That's very important. Minimum 8 gig of system memory. 16 gigabyte is recommended. So now this is a case where suddenly how much memory you have in your computer starts to make a difference. 64-bit operating system. Most people should run this on Windows 10 now. And it will support Linux and Windows 7 as well. Has DirectX 12 and Vulkan support. And pretty much if you need anything else, you can go to AMD.com website and check it all out and find out any bit of information I may have missed. Okay, so I took the other graphics card out just to show you a comparison. There's the old one compared with the new one, okay? Massive. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I plugged everything in. Okay, it's got all its power coming to it. And we're going to turn it on and hopefully everything goes according to plan. So here goes. Power's on. Our monitor is now on. And power up. Okay, so that's going. I can see our fans going. You can see some color in here. It's got the sapphire here, coloring in here, and coloring on the top. All right. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to turn the lights off just to give you a better look at that. Okay, I'm just leaning in here a bit. Okay. So you can see the colors now. It's just going to do the rainbow colors, random colors right now. And that's because it doesn't have the addressable RGB cable on it. So I'm going to have to go out and get that. Once I've got it, everything is going to be good to go. So I'm just going to go back and show you the that it's coming on here. Okay, our system is up and it is running. All right, so we're going to have to do some testing and I'll get back to you once I get that all done. So one of the things they talk about is that 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB cable. Okay, so you don't actually need that cable. Confused me at first as well. Then I realized that I went to my local computer shop where sometimes when I have questions, a lot of those guys that work on computers all the time, sometimes they're a little more knowledgeable. So they've run into this before, and they said that the SAPPHIRE Trixx, which is I already mentioned earlier about your BIOS software, also will let you control everything else on your graphics card. So I've got it up here on the screen, and you have to download the SAPPHIRE Trixx, and it'll come up with whether the version you'll need or what the most current one is when you're going to do it. And on the top, you can see where it says sapphiretech.com/en for English and /software. So go in there, download the software, install it, and then what you're going to get after that is going to be this next screen. So this screen here is what you're going to get. It identifies what card you have, and it's going to give you all the information you're going to need. GPU, Navi 10, shaders, how many you've got, die size, your interface, your memory bus, a driver, all that kind of good stuff. Whether you have UEFI, DirectX version 12, what BIOS you have, your temperatures, which you can see here is 42 degrees. No load on the graphics card right now. The VBOS selection, primary VBOS, and you can of course save your BIOS here, but you can also go through and go into hardware monitor, and everything that's written in here is a graph. Okay, so your sock clock, VRMs, everything once you're running it. Okay, all kinds of good stuff in there. Your Trixx Boost, which will give you all kinds of other options in here as well, for 4K, for 1440p running, and full HD, all the kind of good stuff. You're going to have to go through all that, choose which ones you want. You can check your fan health, make sure your fans are working. I've already done that. You can see where it says fan health is okay. And Nitro Glow, which is now for your graphics card and all its colors. So I'm going to play with this a little bit. I'm going to go single color. And when I did that, the graphics card, of course, is displaying all the different colors, and it just randomly does that. So I want to go, and I'm going to choose a custom color. And let's pick, I don't know, let's pick, let's pick blue. I like blue. And I don't know, put that as the default, I guess. Or, no, I don't want. Okay, single color. Color change. Okay, so it's going to change the colors randomly, it looks like. I don't want it to do that, so I'm sure if I go turn off. Oh, that turns everything off. Okay, don't want to do that. So single color, runway. So you can say steps before color change, the speed. Now, it doesn't seem like it wants to stay on one color, which is kind of odd. So I do think that the RGB is going to have some factor on it. But anyway, so I'm going to pick single color. I want to know how I can pick the color I want. So I'm going to go back down here to custom color again. And let's go. Let's just choose something. Actually, go back to the blue. I guess there's no apply or anything like that. So don't worry about that. It's just going to go to that color. And I will just pan over and show you that it is in fact doing that color. Right, I know it's a little bit greeny here. So you can see how it is blue. So I'm going to change it just so I can show you that again. I'll change it to green. And of course, you're going to have to change your CPU cooler color as well to match it, which is kind of a pain, but you know, once you choose your own color, you can go with whatever you want. Change it to red, change it to pink, brown even, and gold. So I'm going to stick with blue because it just matches the one that I got here. You can change them around whatever color you want it to be. All right, I think that's pretty cool because no RGB cable required. It just does it. So let's go back to the screen. And here's the color that I'm talking about. Here's where I did everything at. If you want different choices, you got runway, which is kind of a cool effect. You can go rainbow, so it'll just go through all the different colors. Serial seems to just cycle through the different colors. Audio visual, so if you're playing music, I guess this is where it would play the different lighted whatever it comes up with when music is playing. You can of course change the brightness for all of these. If you have an external source, okay, so it says you can synchronize Nitro Glow with other components by connecting an RGB cable from the motherboard to the 3-pin RGB header on the graphics card. So you do need it if that's what you want to do. Okay, I do recommend that, and I think I'm going to do that. I've already ordered the cable, and then that'll allow us just to use maybe the Mystic Light software to maybe do it. Won't know until I get it. So for this video, I can't confirm that. And of course, you can turn everything off if you want here. So I'm going to just go back to the single color, or custom color rather. I'm going to choose the, well, it already saved the blue, but I'll just click it anyway. And let's go back to the boost. And it explains everything down here. So if you're looking for it, or you're looking for like what's going on temperature wise, everything, it will show it through here. And of course back to our dashboard. I just thought I wanted to show that to you because I didn't know about it. And now you do. So if you want to save your BIOS again, click down here, save BIOS, do all kind of. You got specifications, so you can go into Google and check all that out if you want to. Your drivers. So if you want to check your drivers, again, you can go in and it's going to take you to your drivers. And of course it has a support page, which is going to take you to another website as well. So that's it for that part. So I'm not going to be able to show you the games running because I don't want to install Steam and stuff onto the computer. This is a client's computer, it's not mine. I don't want to put stuff on here that I leave behind for his system. I want it to be nice and fresh and clean. So I thought I'd go in and at least show you some of the performance and some of the metrics of what's going on right now. So the graphics card itself, what's going on in here. Now we'll do some tests as well, like see what we can run. So we'll show you the clock speed it's running at now, what it's capable of. It's only consuming between 10 and 14 watts right now. The temperature at 47 degrees. Current temperature 46. Okay, so junction and current. And your fan speeds, well, fan speed, it's not running right now. So it only runs when it needs to run. You have a look at the VRAMs, CPU, percentage, and the RAM that's being used. So you can go in here and tune it. You can accept this and have a look at your clock speeds, VRM voltages, all that kind of good stuff. And you can have it on automatic default, which is what I've got it on now. You can undervolt it, overclock it, and overclock your VRAM if you wish. But know what you're doing before you go in and do this, because if you don't, then you could cause yourself some problems. All right? So under advisors, you can go in and set up your profile for sports, gaming, power, savings, and standard settings. All right? So just be aware that all that's there. Main thing is the card is there, it's working, and like I said, I don't do a lot of graphics card installs, and now we know why. But I am going to install some stuff to an external drive, get games running on that, so I can just plug it in for any future if I want to start doing that. But this is a first look at the system, drivers, everything all installed. I am going to run Heaven Benchmark though, and we'll have a look at that just for something to see. So the only setting I changed was tessellation, just to put it at normal. Everything else is stock, and we're going to run it, and we'll see how it at least performs under this situation. So we'll go in here, we'll run the benchmark. Of course, if it comes up with the Radeon software up here, and we're just going to have a look and start. So let's go benchmark, and away it goes. So down in the bottom corner, I don't know if you can actually see that, so let's move it so you can. There we go. Actually, you can see it. So down here it's telling me that the FPS is 161. Okay, the frames are like crazy. Like I can't even. It's like 3,000 something, which I don't even think I've seen that before. Anyhow, you can see the top right corner on the top up here, FPS 160, 150, going back and forth. And we're going to let this play through. I'm going to let it play through most of the way through. It's only a few minutes. I'll pause it in between, but just gives you a feel for how well it's going to play. And, well, if you're going to have any problems, I guess. Now, I've only got this at 1080p. Unfortunately, I don't have a 4K monitor. I'm definitely going to have to start moving up my game to a 4K monitor so I can give better... just show more. One thing I am noticing is how the shadows and reflections and stuff are. I don't know if this has ray tracing or not, but it's certainly looking better than some of the other graphics cards I've looked at in the past. Probably the highest end graphics card I've had in a system at this moment. Again, don't forget about that Trixx software, Trixx software. Okay, that will help you to set the colors for your graphics card without having to worry about Mystic Light or anything else for that matter. Okay, just something to be aware of. So we hit up around 203 FPS there at one point, and now we're sticking around 170. We're about halfway through. So I'm going to pause it and then we'll come back near the end. Okay, so we're just about wrapping up here. And then we're going to get our results. So let's see what it comes up with. It does get a little loud. Not something out of the ordinary or you can't live with, but so there we go. There's a pretty decent score, 4777, minimum of 16, maximum of FPS 406. That's pretty crazy. But that is pretty much where I saw it looking at right there. Okay, it's in Ryzen 5 3600X, but it's on an X570 motherboard, so you can always upgrade and update. And like I say, ran it at 1920 by 1080 full screen, quality high and normal tessellation. I'm actually going to try it again with tessellation turned off and just see if it improves at all. Okay, so with tessellation off, we're starting right off at around 216 FPS right off the bat. So that's a bit higher than what we were getting. And I'm already up to 260 thereabouts for FPS. So that does make a big difference. And so I'm not going to go through this whole thing again. I'll pause it and we'll come back for the end result. Okay, so here's our end result. FPS 226. Score much higher, 5714. That's really crazy. Max got the 421 FPS and a minimum of 47. And that was just with tessellation turned off. So it made a huge difference. So I do want to minimize this and just have a look at what the temps are saying if I can bring something up real quick. Okay, so I'm running the benchmark again, but I've got the AMD software up. And you can see how now it's given us a little more information than before. Utilization goes from 1 to 14%. So it's not really using as much of the graphics card as it could. Graphics card, like I say, over here, you can see the ups and dips and valleys and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, just so you can see, give you an idea of the what's going on. Current temperature is only 50 degrees. Fan speeds were running at 1050. Now they're dropping down a little bit because they're just not ramping up quite as much while we're doing the testing. So I don't know if we can go to tuning. Give us some information here. Yeah, so here. Uni engine, Heaven benchmark, average FPS was 164 for 5 minutes, which is in the 95 percentile. Performance grade gets as excellent. So I'm just going to close this down. Sorry I couldn't bring it anything better than that, but it is what it is. All right, everybody. So basically we had a look at a little bit of the benchmarking. We look at the graphics card itself, of course, the Trixx software, how to change it, where to find it, some of the other software, as much overall as I could give for a system that's not mine, because this is a client who's purchasing the system that I had, put his own graphics card in it, and I just was testing it to make sure it's working all right. So Heaven benchmarks ran. I'm going to let it run for quite a while. The graphics card does heat up a bit, but it only got to 60 degrees. 60 degrees, that was it. So in gaming, it's probably going to be maybe a little more, but I don't think I got anything to worry about. I did go into Trixx Boost, changed it up a little bit so that you can do it 4K when you're gaming. It'll change the scaling a little bit to make it a little bit better. Yeah, anyway, change the colors. Being able to change that color with its own software and then being able to go in and change it. Now, I'd like to sync them both together, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. It always seems to work much better doing it separately. Now, I know you can do it together, but I don't have the RGB cable, and when I went to buy it in my local computer shop, I couldn't get it, so it's just not going to arrive in time before the client needs it to obviously have fun with it, because he's going to be gaming. Alright, so that's pretty much it. So if you like the video, hit that like. If you don't, you know what to do. Hit that bell for future notifications. And if you're new here, think about subscribing. Tell me what you thought. I will make sure that I have games ready if I'm going to do this in the future. I actually have a 1 terabyte drive that I'm going to figure out how to load all my Steam games and stuff. Or maybe not all, but a good chunk of them anyway. And put them on there, and then I can just plug it into a system, away I go, and run it that way. And then that way I'm taking it away, and it's not clogging up the client system or anything like that. And it'll just be a little bit easier, and save a lot of time. So anyhow, thanks for watching. See you next time.